so I'm going to talk about a bit of no-code websites. So why they are the best tools on the market to use for develop a website, a bit of how we started to use no-codes, and what is coming in the future with the web, what we can expect overall with the no-code. So to get started, I do have apologize for for the lines of on the text. I don't know what happens. I mean, that's the biggest excuse any design can have. But yeah. Anyway, so there is not only no-code is not only used for the websites. It's also used for the apps, mobile apps, web apps as well, some of the one, for example, use case that I know that use no code to develop app is one app that is developed by Carlo Fernandez, which is also one of our speakers today, and they develop it using Tele, Airtable, and many similar couple of apps actually, a couple of platforms. But I don't actually know that much about apps because it's about websites. And as you can see here, now there's a lot of issues actually with this, but sorry about that. Okay, so you you see here the most popular no-code platforms like WordPress, Webflow, Framer, Wix, Squarespace, and so these are like the cool guys among the most popular platforms. And in the middle, there is one platform called GeoCities. So I just want to ask, I mean, does anyone know what GeoCities is? No? So GeoCities is the very first, actually, no-code development platform. It started as a startup in 1994, and you know, back then there was no cool graphics or anything, so just HTML. But they were the first, so it's not the WordPress, if anything, something like that. And you know, they became the most popular website platform actually in the 90s, and in 1999 it was acquired by Yahoo, and you know, no one knows them after that. Sorry. And then in 2003, we have the WordPress, who added the CMS because we didn't have them before. And from there, you know, the rest is history. We had all other platforms. They came much later and also affected the overall ecosystem of the no-code development. So the difference actually between traditional coding and no-code, it's actually a huge difference because you know that before we needed to write code, and it looks like, if you can see it in the screenshot in the back, that's the Visual Studio used for coding, and it's just words and text. And if you want to see any updates, you need to publish and see on another screen or maybe secondary monitor. And it's also very slow in most cases, takes a long time to develop, it's costly, and so forth, and so on. That's why the no-code is kind of, in some cases, I cannot maybe say in all cases, but in some cases a better solution because it's just a real time. It's very visual, you see everything that you do right away. It's simpler, you don't actually need to know how to code. And it's much cheaper also to develop, better for larger organizations, larger companies, because they can do everything by themselves. They don't need constantly to work with an agency or a freelancer or someone to help them do it. But yeah, a bit later, more about that. So we have a lot of platforms to build websites. And some of the most popular are WordPress, Webflow, and Framer. I'm not going to talk a lot about all of these platforms because you know, there is a lot to say, and it will take much longer to say everything. But I can say that since the WordPress is the first, almost 50% on the whole websites in the world are built in WordPress, and maybe 98% from all no-code websites are built also in WordPress. So it's just a leading platform because it's the longest in the game, but it's the longest because it's very good to use. It's simple, it's very, very cheap, and easy to manage. And overall, yeah, I mean, it's great platform. But WordPress works with themes. They're like templates. The first screenshot is actually the Elementor, which is one of the most popular themes. And they work with pre-made components where you cannot do much changes if you don't know how to code. But you can drag and drop and organize the content in the way that you want and customize it to some level. And then we have a Webflow, where Webflow it works a bit different because it works with classes, and you can organize your content the way you want with the classes because you have div blocks, so you can customize them any way you want, and you don't actually need to work with the pre-made stuff. So you can work almost like from scratch, and almost all of the things you can do are possible. But maybe like the downside of the Webflow, because of all of these three, is the most expensive one. I can say maybe the WordPress is the cheapest. And we have the Framer, which is most designer-friendly solution because it reminds you a lot on Figma, Adobe XD, all these design tools that you use to design for the designers. And so it's very familiar place to start with if you don't know how to code, if you're not from the coding background. And there is a lot of options to, there's a lot of things you can do with it. But it reminds you a lot on the Webflow, and in the terms of all these three, yes, it's the simplest one to learn because WordPress and Webflow has the very steep learning curve, but there is also a lot of resources and more flexible. But maybe Framer is the best one to start if you're planning to start to use or to learn no-code. I mean, as I said, it's a very long topic, so I don't want to go too deep with this. So there is a lot of benefits from no-code tools. And so one of the benefits, for example, is this modular approach. As I said, that you can drag and drop components and all the pre-made elements. It's very good for marketing teams, to be honest, because they can just have someone create all this stuff for them, and they can do everything by themselves. They just don't need anyone to maintain the website or do anything like some kind of updates or something like that. Then they also have a thing that is a real-time visual feedback. It's like this screenshot below. You know that how we used to have, when you want to leave a feedback and you take a screenshot, then you send it on an email or some communication platform. But now you can actually do that directly on the platform. So it's a real time, you can comment, mark as done, all this stuff. It just makes things simpler and easier to use. And of course, because of all of these things, it's just faster project turnaround because it's faster to develop anything actually you need. Okay, there's not enough time, but AI is also one of the, I mean, if you ask me, AI is like a next step of the no-code because no-code is revolutionary. It's changed the way that we develop websites by making things simpler, faster, and easier. And when the AI is integrated in the no-code, it also do that as well. It also makes things even more simpler, even more faster, and cheaper as well. So AI is like logically kind of like a next step of the no-code revolution and no-code process. Now, many no-code tools already started to implement it, but they're just kind of like in the beginning. Webflow did acquire a company called Intellimize, and they're planning to start to release many updates for the AI. But they're just in the beginning. They just published something to generate content in the CMS. I don't know much about the WordPress, but I know that Framer took the largest step in all of that because they added AI that you can actually generate the website with a prompt. So something like kind of like a ChatGPT. You have a bar, you type the prompt, and you generate the website completely. I tested this. I mean, website is not perfect. As you know, AI is not perfect. yet in any way, but it does a decent work. I don't know how good it is with the conversion rate and all this kind of stuff, but it's very decent if you just need to skip some steps and help you to start with something, and then maybe you can work around to tighten it up and everything. But it's a good start, and this is as I said, the largest leap from all these companies, and we will see what Webflow are going to bring on their conference later this year. So real-world impact. So there are many companies that already transferred to Webflow, and so very big companies as well, like NCR, Dropbox, Philips, Dell, Weiss. There are many others. Some of them completely transferred to the website, to the no-code with their corporate main website, and some of them just maybe pages for the marketing, but they're starting to, to getting there, which is very important because if we have more large companies using no-code, it will just push it more, and they will invest more, and this will kind of become even bigger thing. And but there's one interesting thing that, for example, Webflow did in 2023. So last year they did a research that included around 200 companies, small and large. It's a mix of both. And they just wanted to see what's the state of the website for this year. So there is a report for that on their website if you want to read. But the bottom line is that this is like the second sentence: switching to no-code saves up to 50% in hiring and retaining talent, as well as time in updating content. So basically, here we are again. It just saves time and money, and that's actually what they're pushing, and that's what is about this kind of stuff. But beside all of that, it just gives us more creativity. We don't need to focus that much on development. We can focus on creativity, innovation, trying to create something different, something unique, something memorable. So, it's not just about the time and money. Sorry, well, okay, so the next one. I purposely put this like completely AI-generated image just to show that AI is still not perfect. I mean, there's still a lot of things to do, but it's good that we started to invest into AI because it's something that will improve at least this industry and the way that we do things. For now, the AI and no-code is like the fusion for the instant updates and dynamic content creation. Also, the no-code will just become standard in web development at some point in time. I'm not actually sure when, because traditional coding is still good. Almost, as you heard, almost 50% of the websites are still developed in traditional coding and still make sense with very crazy animations or very complex solutions, because no-code is still not there yet. Yes, you can do this kind of stuff in no-code, but still requires custom code. You still need to know at least something about coding, and not just that. You still need to know JavaScript and HTML and CSS if you want to achieve a lot of things. But for some basic stuff, for marketing websites, even a bit more complex websites, you can totally use no-code. But you really need, you cannot just use no-code without any knowledge of how code works. As I said, you can, but it's if you can run on a problem that you don't know how to solve, and then it's even bigger problem. So we should embrace the no-code revolution, because a couple of things. So no-code, as I said, empowered the creativity and efficiency, because all of these tools, Webflow, Framer, WordPress, Wix, and all the others, are just there to help us to just don't do code. Like a perfect future would be to not do code at all and to focus on just innovation and creativity. But yeah, I think that is something that will come very soon. And then the AI enhanced future, which is something that will come as a help tool, as I said, something as an upgrade of the no-code. And the no-code in general will just become the standard of tomorrow, something that we will look forward to and something that will help us with the website build. Yeah, okay. Sorry, I just rush everything through because there is a lot of things to talk about. I mean, this is a big topic. This is something that needs hours and hours to speak about. But I just wanted to touch something about this to help understand what the no-code is really about, to understand if you should start learning it or not, or if this is something for you or not. But yeah, something to think about. And if you really want to learn more, you can visit my agency website, proworks.net. We have a blog where we talk about this stuff more in depth, so that yeah, we cover more of these things. Yeah. Anyway, that's it. Thank you so much.